Hey, I'm thinking about the word ruthless today. This is Steve Kell, Kell One Farm. Wanted to talk to you about what the word ruthless is all about. I love words. I love choosing the correct word. I love the defining and the deep knowledge that comes from a word. So I got my 1963 Webster's Dictionary and I looked up ruthless. But you know what the root word of ruthless is? It's Ruth. Pretty mind-blowing. It's an Icelandic word. It means pity, tenderness. Or an alternative, it means sorrow, grief, remorse. So if you have Ruth, you've got pity and tenderness. If you have Ruth, you've got sorrow, grief, remorse. If you meet somebody and you're in pain, you should expect them, if they have Ruth, to meet you with pity and with tenderness. Ooh, pity and tenderness. I like to be treated with a little tenderness when things aren't going well. It's nice to know someone can support you and feel your pain, stand alongside you, have some compassion. But you know, I feel like there's a lot of ruthlessness going on in the world and a lot of ruthlessness going on in my own mind. So, ruthlessness comes when I start to think about other people and I wonder what is wrong with them. I put them in this light that my perspective is ruthless. I think about them in the most negative way. They're stupid. They don't know what they're doing. I wish someone else were in charge. I wish they weren't in this predicament they've put themselves in. I wish they didn't affect me the way that they do with how poorly they're conducting their affairs. Ruthless thoughts. And I hate to think that other people would have these thoughts towards me. Now, thoughts are one thing, but what about aside from just our own thinking? I think I see ruthlessness a lot when I hear other people talking about their friends, family, and loved ones while they're not in the room. Great relationship while they're together, but get them along a quiet space and all of a sudden you hear ruthless talk about how poorly they think about these other people. They lack pity. They lack tenderness. They lack sorrow. They lack grief. They lack remorse. And they trash someone. They're heartless. They cut them up. It's a terrible way to think. It's a terrible way to be thought of. But it's a common way to think. And I feel like we need to avoid it as much as possible. What a wonderful word. In 1963, Ruth, guess what? They considered it archaic. So 66 years later, I'd say it's still pretty much archaic. Never heard the word Ruth used in a sentence, except if it was someone's name. Today, it's archaic to the max. But it sure does seem like it can be relevant. Ruth, get yourself a little Ruth. It's a noun. Did I mention it's from Iceland? Ruth is pity and tenderness. Pity is the ability to feel the pain of others. Sympathy, compassion. Tenderness is easily broken, bruised. Softness, brittleness. Maybe it's not always good to be filled with pity. Maybe it's not always good to be tender. But there's a time for tenderness, and I'd say most of the time it's when we deal with other people and our opinions of others should be good. Otherwise, our opinions of others should be constructively for their good. Hope it all made sense. Thanks for listening. This has been Steve Kell. Check me out in other areas. Who knows? Maybe we have a lot in common. I'd love to know.